Curlfriends, it's Mickey B, and it is time for another episode of Energize and Moisturize, where we energize and moisturize our hair while energizing ourselves. Today's quote is, "The promise of the rainbow is not found in cloud-free days, but in the midst of the storm." The promise of the rainbow is not found in cloud-free days, but in the midst of the storm. This is a saying that kind of mirrors something that I say a lot to people. And I say to people that a blessing is not a dinner and a movie. A blessing, when you're being blessed, it seems like you're in the worst part of your life. You're in the worst time of your life. You're having the worst day or the worst season. And I've always believed that when that happens, when you feel that way, you're being blessed. Before I go off into all of that, I just want to show you that I am doing a quick and simple down and dirty moisturizing session today. I'll be using this Giovanni Smooth as Silk Deeper Moisture Conditioner. I know you guys have seen this before. And I'm not even going to use water. I'm just going to use my comb. I am in desperate need of a color. I just don't feel like doing it. I put some blush on here to try and camouflage. That's what that light brown color is you're seeing. So I'm going to make this quick. Well, as quick as I can. But getting back to the quote, the promise of the rainbow is not found on the cloud-free days, but in the midst of a storm. I've always felt that in your darkest hours when you receive the most of your blessings. I used to tell people, when you feel like everything is happening to you, that's when you're being blessed. God is specifically focusing on you. And I think it is so true, because it's not what you think it is. When you're being blessed, and I've always believed this, and to me, whoever wrote this quote, it didn't say who wrote it, by the way, but whoever wrote this quote appears to believe it as well, that blessings come through some of the worst circumstances. In other words, it takes something drastic to change your direction, to change your path, to get you on the path to where you need to be in order to receive the blessing. And that's why I believe that. I feel like I've lived that again, and that's why I believe it to be true. Because I know there have been many times in my life where I'm just not understanding what's going on, why is this happening, and after it all pans out and everything is said and done, then it makes sense, and I can see, oh, this actually ended up being a good thing. So, and I'm sure some of you have had moments in your lives where it just seemed like everything, like what else could go wrong? Well, you didn't think that things would go this way, but they did. Now here you are. It's changed everything you needed to do, or you thought was going to happen in a certain way. It changed how all that went down. You planned for this and got that, and what you got was just horrible. It was like the worst nightmare. Nobody could have predicted it. You know, that whole scenario. And it ends up being the best thing that ever happened. I used to work with a lady once, and she was dating her boyfriend for years, like 10 plus years. And they didn't have any kids, and they were just happy being a couple, and they didn't want any kids at all. They had talked about it, and they did not want kids. It was a mutual feeling. They were content with their lives. She said, I don't know what I would do with a child. You know, we're too old. We don't like what's going on with the world. You know, she gave me all these reasons why. And then, suddenly, miraculously, she got pregnant. Now that went against everything that they wanted to do. She got pregnant. So when she got pregnant, she had the child. Now I don't know that she felt like, oh, my life is over, what have I done? I don't believe she felt that type of feeling towards it, but I know that's not something that she wanted. And she had rationalized the whole reason why she did not want it. So when it happened, of course, she went ahead and kept it, and she had the baby. It was a little girl. And after she had the baby, I ran into her, and she was the happiest woman on earth. She says, you know, I didn't want a child. I hadn't planned on having a child or anything. But she said, I can't imagine, and after she was here, she said, I can't imagine my life without her. She has been such a blessing. So that's kind of an example of one of those, it wasn't a real dark scenario, like when you, in the midst of a storm, but it could have been for her, because she might have been thinking her life is over, everything's changed, what is she going to do? Now that she has a child, we can't travel and do all the things we've been doing. She might have felt something like that. She didn't express anything like that to me, but after she had her little girl, she was just ecstatic with joy. That's an example that I could say could fall into this category. The whole time they had been successful in not getting pregnant, so I can imagine that it might have been a little disheartening when she did find out that she was pregnant, because she had already swallowed and accepted the fact that that was never going to happen. So that might have been a jolt for her to have to overcome. And after the baby was here, again, she couldn't imagine her life without her. There you go. Another example, if I can cite one. I know I've experienced this as well. It's been so many times I can't even recall one, and normally I can when I'm talking. I'm never at a loss for words. However, today I can't, maybe if I just keep talking about this, but there's really not that much more I could say about the midst of the storm. You know, that's when you're being blessed. It's along the lines of almost every other session I've done, to where you have to go through something to get to something. Did I just make that up, or have I heard that before? I probably heard it before, but you have to go through something to get to something. If I didn't just make that up, that's pretty cool. But it's basically that. That's how life works. You're shaped, you're molded, you're that piece of coal that turns into the diamond. That's when you're blessed, is when you become a diamond and everybody wants you. But when you're that lump of coal, you haven't been through anything yet. We've heard all of these analogies, and that quote is just reiterating all of those sayings that we've heard, all of those examples cited. That the blessings, and the one that I would say all the time, a blessing is not an ice cream in a movie. People say, oh, I'm blessed, but they don't tell you what happened, you know, getting to that point of being blessed. It's not always been fun and games, you know, all fun and no trials and tribulations. It doesn't come without that. But I guess the message I want you to take away from this saying is that, and I guess this is why a lot of times we tell people don't give up, because people give up when the going gets tough. But that's when you need to hang in there the most, because that's when the blessing begins. So if you're going through something and you think, oh my gosh, I just can't take anymore, I'm about to just walk out on all of this, that's the time you need to hang in there and ride it out. Ride it out. There's something big waiting for you. And if you don't write it out, you'll never know that. You'll never find out what it was that was for you. It's almost like sometimes we have to be tested. We have to pass midterms and finals before we get that final A. We have to prove that we can handle it. And that is the case too a lot of times. The blessing, if it was just given to you before you were ready to receive it, you might not know how to handle it. So that's something to think about as well. Since the blessings, since you go through so much to get to it, then maybe that's how you know that you'll be able to handle it if you can write it out. If you can't write it out, then maybe you don't deserve it. Now, I'm not saying that that's the case, and I'm just saying that's another way to look at things. Because you have to be able to endure. You have to be able to be like that tea bag. When they put you in the iced tea, that's no big deal because it's nice and cool. No worries, no problems. But when they put you in that pot of boiling water, either you're going to burst or you're going to make tea. Steep and make tea. So it's basically finding out what you're made out of. And if you can handle, if you can endure getting to that point, then you deserve to be at that point. So today was just a short one. There's not much more I can say on this topic. I mean, I can keep talking, going in circles, saying the same thing over and over again. But that is the gist of it. I think it's a very simple and to the point message, but something that everybody should always remember is to hang in there. Don't give up. Don't quit. We've heard all these things before. And that is kind of the first part of what this quote was saying today. Hang in there. You know, stick with it, ride it through, don't quit. All that stuff can kind of tie in to this quote from today. So on that note, I don't have anything else to say about that. Again, I think it speaks for itself. It's pretty self-explanatory. Now, since I do have time to divert elsewhere, I just wanted to address a couple of questions I got about my couponing. And have I couponed at Rite Aid since they made the switch over to the Plenty program? And I have only once. I have not couponed regularly lately because, first of all, when that change happened, it gave me an opportunity to take a break. And secondly, once I took the break and realized that I had enough stuff I needed to just use the stuff that I had instead of continuously adding to it. And that's where I'm at right now. I'm just taking a break from it and using all the stuff I've acquired while couponing. It doesn't make sense to keep adding to a huge stockpile. You only need so much stuff in your life, and I've given so much away, and I just don't want to keep adding to something that doesn't need to be added to anymore. And I am enjoying the break being away from couponing. I will say that. It's been nice to just have my time to myself. To have my time. Eventually, I know I'll get back into it. I still get my coupons on a regular. And if there's a deal, well, so far, nothing has pulled me or made me want to even, because I still follow some of the deals. Not as much as I used to, but I still kind of scan them, I guess, do like a quick overview, because if there's anything ridiculously amazing, I want to definitely take benefit from it, take part, and go do the deal. I haven't organized my coupons since all this stuff happened, but I still have them available should something come up. So I'm still one foot in, one foot out. I'm not completely done with it yet. And the stuff that I'm using up will eventually be used up, like my dishwashing detergent. And one of the first thing that I think I'm going to have to jump back in for is toilet paper. I have some now, but that supply is getting really low. So I think that'll be the first reason for me to go back and try and do a deal. But for right now, I am enjoying not doing any couponing. I'm just enjoying my life in the summer and just being kind of just a regular citizen on Sundays and not chasing deals and freebies. So that's the update on my couponing. If I do get back into it like I was before, I will definitely make videos about it. And only having used or done a deal one time since the Plenty program was implemented, I really don't have anything to say or review the program with. I don't really have enough experiences to give any kind of review of the program so far. I can only speak on that one transaction, and it worked the same as all the other ones. The only difference was it added the points to my card, and they're on my card. There's no more paper up rewards to cut out and keep in my wallet. It's all on my card. And what was the other difference that I experienced with that? Oh, and I have my card and I have Janae's card, so I can only do them twice now. I can't do them like I was before on the multiple cards that I had, and I don't want to try and get multiple cards anymore because, like I said, I already have a nice stockpile. And I only did one deal one time on my card. And you can't combine the points. Well, I saw somebody say that you could make them all go to one card, but I don't know how to do that. So I haven't combined my cards to where the points could be interchanged. So right now, if I get points on my card, they stay on my card, and if I get them on Janae's, they stay on hers. So I can't just use mine for deals for her card. You know, I can't interchange the points. Well, I haven't. Like I said, I saw in a video, I think it was Michelle's Frugal Living, saying that could be done, but you had to contact them or something. And whatever it was, I wasn't about to do it at that time. Plus, I was on somewhat of a break, and I didn't worry about it. But that's all I have to share about the Plenty program. I haven't used it enough to really feel like I'm qualified to even speak on it at all. And I don't know when I will be jumping back into it, because right now I certainly have more than enough stuff to use up. Now on my hair, as you see, these gray hairs they're here. They're ready to be colored, and it's been, what's today, August? Today is Saturday, August 8th. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's been a month and 2 days on this color. It doesn't last very long. And it's been showing up probably around week 2. Because it comes out so fast, I don't rush to color it again. I don't want to be a slave to the color. And I'll do my little fill-in situations, like the blush or the eyeliner stick that I can draw on here. I'll do those when necessary, but for the most part, I can't hide who I am, and I'm not going to try. When I feel like it, I'll do it. Try to keep my sessions at least a month apart, minimum of a month apart. And then depending on how lazy I get, it might go a month and a half, 2 months. But I don't want to do it too often because I don't think that color is that much on a regular is that good for your hair. I just can't believe. And even though this is just a semi-permanent, I still don't believe that it doesn't do damage. I think it's still damaging to some degree, so I at least try to stretch out the sessions so the damage is to a minimum. But when it gets to this point like this, and it starts with so drastically two-toned ombre, but not in a good way, then that's when I'm ready to go ahead and do the color. Can you guys tell? I really don't feel like talking a lot tonight. I had a long week, and it's I'm kind of tired. But I wanted to come in here and at least film this. And hopefully I'll get it up tomorrow, because I'm not going to stay up late like I normally do just to have it upload. But I do want to try and get it up tomorrow at some point during the day. I'm just low energy. Glad the day is over at an end and that I'm actually doing this, even though I'm not going to upload it. And I feel like I'm just rambling, which I really am. I guess what I could have done is pulled another card, but I don't feel like it tonight, talking so much. I just want to finish this, be done with this, and go to bed. But I wanted to get something. So the fact that I'm not done bothers me a little. I mean, not done with my hair, but I'm finished talking. I guess I'm just gonna go ahead and turn the camera off here, and then I'll just come in at the end and say goodbye, because I'm not gonna ramble. That's just a waste of time. You don't need that. Alright, I'll be back. I'm all done, and I'm going to say good night or good morning or just goodbye, and I'll see you in the next video. I finished everything. I just finished this side, which is why it's a little longer than this side, because it hasn't quite dried up. But I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a great rest of your weekend if I get this up by Sunday, and if not, just enjoy your day. And don't sweat the small things, and just know it's going to be okay. Alright, see you in the next video. Bye-bye.